It worked! Hey, Roddy!
Yay!
Oh my
What is
God.
up?
Hey guys, just before we even start, I love you guys. And this week we saw the opera. Just putting it out there. It's the opera. Rod, continue. How's it going?
It's actually opera, Josh. There's no the, which led back to my question of what Josh was doing, but I kind of go with it at this point.
Josh had a lot going on.
I almost put Phantom of the Opera.
Every time I hear opera, I think Repo. So I'm just like,
man,
I made this at work in 40 minutes.
you killed it, man.
I had fun with it,
Dude.
but honestly, I don't look into. It's so ADD of me to add the to it. I also like it better.
Yeah.
So it's. This week.
The Dario is very well known for the eye stuff, and this I was messaging you guys while I was doing this. I was like, this eye stuff fucks with me real bad, and
I thought it was going to as well, and it didn't in this one for some reason.
Yeah.
I've never had issues with eye stuff. Like I'll rub my fingers all over my eyes, changing contacts. Like I even do it on stream sometimes. People are like, "Oh no." I like Dead Space didn't bother me, but this shit,
yeah.
I was like, well, there's a fear that's just unlocked that I didn't know I had.
It looked awesome. That's why that's the standout from this movie for sure. Of anything in this movie that is like, it's so original to have the lining. It's like the eyelashes of death. It's sweet.
I mean, that and the line, my second favorite, dude. We've been nailing awesome lines on all these movies. I always jerk off before I film a scene. Line was,
Rod.
Yeah, I rolled into Kin's chat this morning, and that was my first line. And Kin's like, "Hey, Rod."
I hadn't watched it yet, so I was like.
It's out of context lines from Rod time.
I mean, it made sense because it was from Rod. And I mean, like, to be fair, it's not uncommon for those kind of things. To be fair, those kind of things to be said in chat. So
yeah, exactly. Well, there is a new season of Letterkenny coming out soon, and I'm very excited, Josh.
I still have like a season
Letterkenny.
left.
It's so good, man.
My girlfriend has been like watching more just English shows to like learn more English and stuff. I should show her that and like be like, this is English.
do the alphabet segment of Letterkenny.
As I said, the Letterkenny is Seinfeld but Canadian. Like it's like what would happen if Seinfeld like happened in the middle of nowhere, Canada, and you basically. And then you allow swearing, and that's what Letterkenny ends up being. But, yeah.
I love Seinfeld.
I haven't watched all of it. I've watched a bunch of it. Like when I got COVID, I was watching a bunch of Seinfeld, and then like, I think at some point I like associated Seinfeld with being sick, and I haven't like.
Oh no, that was Price is Right for me. Like whenever I was homesick from school when I was a kid, it was like, oh, fuck yes, I get to watch The Price is Right.
I have. One of my buddies who comes into my streams all the time is always like the Roddy Rod, the announcer. So every time he comes into my streams, he's like, Roddy Rod, come on down. You get a brand new car. And now I have it on my soundboard, not on my soundboard, in my, I should put it on my stream deck, but
why wouldn't you? I got this.
I don't know, man.
Oh, Clown Dick. I forgot. And now I remember. I love you, Rod. Mr. Clown Dick himself. Oh wait, you got the. It's kind of clowny hair today. He's clowning around, Rod.
I got my pigtails in because they got put in my chat, and I just didn't take them out.
I can't do anything fun with my hair. I wore it down last night, and that's it. That's me.
That's Josh. You can't.
I've started washing mine again, so all the color's gonna start fading.
Dude, the last time I washed my hair, it was blue. It was supposed to be blue. It looked green, and it looked like I was like fucking the Swamp Thing every time I took a shower. It was just like green water everywhere, and I'm just like,
Once I get to like a certain number of like a week or two before I go in to get the color redone, I start actually using hot water instead of ice cold water. and I
Yeah.
wash it more frequently, and it's the best. It's the absolute best.
My hair
Ow.
gets greasy after a couple days, and I'm just like, and I just which is why I haven't. I don't know. It's one of the many reasons why I go maybe having dreadlocks would be okay, but it wouldn't. I've always liked dreadlocks, but I've never one, my hair isn't long enough, which is saying a lot because my hair is long. But two, it's just like, you ever hear stories about people with dreadlocks? Josh, you've been in lots of hardcore and like metal bands. Did you know anyone with dreadlocks?
Of course.
Did
They
they
smell
stink?
like fucking dick.
See, my best friend has dreadlocks, and they're down to her butt, and like she's had them for years, and then she cut them all out one time, and then she grew them all back. But hers don't stink.
Yeah, but she's a girl. She's not a guy.
Bingo.
Every girl I knew that had dreadlocks, they always just had like an aura of like ginger for some reason. They always just smelled like ginger.
They probably sprayed them, right?
I
assume they
don't know.
spray 'em.
It was just like
Yeah.
granola or ginger or something. But every guy I knew that had dreadlocks, it's because they never showered in their life, and it was just a thing that, oh, maybe I'll just go down that direction. And they smelled like day-old booze and cigarette butts and shitty hair. So
I love to shower. That wouldn't be. I'm more worried about this point going, hey Rod, you that's cultural appropriation, blah blah blah, like that, and I'm already covered in tattoos.
Just say you love Sublime.
I mean, and then because I need more reasons for people to point at me and call me a pothead, like
ICP. ICP.
Okay, is that better? I don't know. But
you're clown dick.
There are two bands. The two bands I think of and there's not a single person who likes those two bands and isn't a giant pothead. Sublime's one, as I'm flicking you guys off. I was going to do like that. And then...
Because he rolls 2 joints before he rolls 2 joints.
311's the other one. 311 is like, there's not a non-pothead who likes...
I have to say, I liked Sublime and 311 way before I started messing around with anything.
Yeah,
I just always loved Sublime. It was good shit.
It's just an indicator that you're either a pothead or a future pothead. Like it's just
or a past pothead, because I definitely was.
Like Josh. There's a pothead in Josh's timeline yet, but
yes, I was definitely a pothead at different times in my life, and now I'm just sober guy that makes up the in front of movies that do exist and make them movies that don't exist. Wait, there's probably a The Opera. You know what?
Probably.
I'm going to repost this tomorrow without opera now because you've made me feel so self-conscious about
without opera, so just the?
Yeah, the movies.
Yeah. No. That's going to be the title of my new movie.
Okay, I'm down.
My
Josh WRB original.
And then there's going to be a lot of arguments about, is it the or is it the? What is he trying to portray?
That's when I'm just like, shut up.
Ken, there's a story from many episodes of Murder Moose, like a long time ago, where I wanted to watch this movie called, I forget what the fuck it was called, but like I watched the movie and then Josh watched another movie with the exact same title.
Yes.
And it was like a political thriller or something like that. And we didn't know that until we got into the episode and started talking. And then we had both watched something else.
Best episode ever, though. Come on. Like, when does that ever happen?
It was the most Murder Moose episode of all time. Like it was so Murder Moose.
It made me so happy because we did it anyways.
Yep. Yeah, it was really fucking funny, and it was like, okay, well, we both watched this other movie, so let's go with that. And it was
at a time, and then we watched that fucking terrible movie, The Slumber Party Massacre or something, like the next week. So it was just like. It was ridiculous. I was like, what is this fucking podcast?
By far the worst movie we've ever, I mean, not by far, but the worst movie we've ever seen on this podcast was called Sharks of the Corn with Katie Peters. The next, but
very
not
close
far
second.
behind it was the Slumber Party Massacre movie, which was, it was like they probably had a $500 budget. It was so insanely bad, and it was just.
They both have wicked posters though, and that's what makes me as a poster artist almost like, because I'm being commissioned by indie movies that don't exist yet, and I don't know if they're going to be good or not, but they have a poster by me, so it could be that same thing. It's like, but look at the poster, it's good.
Josh, I have to ask, can you go get Metallica and redo the cover for their single they just put out? Because
okay, I meant
to
listen to this song before because I knew it was going to be a topic of conversation. I haven't listened yet.
I haven't listened either. The fucking art for the single is some of the worst
with the stupid
art I've ever seen. I'm like, Metallica, you guys have all the money. Like it's like the Beatles money, and then Metallica money is like right after that, and it's like, you guys couldn't spend like $3 more. Like, Josh, you could have. Metallica like jumps into Josh's DMs and like, hey, here's $250. Can you do a? And it would have been
even
Creepy Duck times better.
They got Creepy Duck to do a one-off poster for one of their tours at one point, and it was dope.
Yeah.
And I loved what he did. Like, go back to Creepy Duck. Come on, he's in your Rolodex.
So Metallica's touring again. And it's like there's like 20 tour dates, but my buddy sent it to me, and they have like 5 or 6. There are a bunch of legs with supporting bands, like Ice Nine Kills is on there at some point, but Pantera's opening for them, and I'm like, what? Pantera hasn't been together since what? Like, they broke up and then Dimebag got shot. Like, there's no Pantera. They're like, what? And I wonder if what he sent me was bullshit, because I didn't look into it. He just texted me, and I'm like, okay.
They're playing 2 nights in Calgary.
Are they really?
Yeah.
I don't really care about seeing Metallica live.
Me neither.
The only band like that's like I've listened to off and on for years now that I really want to dive into and see live, because I don't know how much longer I want to see Slipknot, because I've seen Stone Sour live a couple times, but I've never seen Slipknot live, and I would like to see them live, but I don't know.
That show would be really good. Slipknot live would be really good.
Lars is like one of the fucking worst metal drummers ever, so I don't give a fuck about Metallica. They suck.
Dude, you know what I've been
Can we bash Metallica for a second? Is this okay?
Yeah, that's fine with me. I'm not a huge Metallica
I find it
fan.
hilarious that they were the spearheading band and lawyers and whatever that like got Napster down and like started pushing for all these DMCA bullshits, and then goes live, and they can't even play their fucking music live because their own DMCA laws that they put in. So all of their songs had to be dubbed over on all these social media platforms because of it. Yeah.
They're fucking stupid, and it's hysterical because they're like the problems that have been you go back to Twitch and
but that's why they make all the monies though. Like as a brand first, like they've killed it. Like I got to give them props for what they've done for themselves in like stepping up. Like you just said, there's the Beatles money, there's Metallica money. They've made their brand into something that has made tons and tons of money. But everything else, whatever.
And at some point, somebody else would have done it anyway. So, but still. I just want to bitch about it.
I want to point to Taylor Swift, whose songs are all over fucking Instagram and TikTok and all this stuff. It's me.
Didn't she go top 10?
I'm the problem. It's me.
Didn't
like that's
all her songs go top 10 or something?
I think so. Yeah.
Hey, come on. That's crazy.
Dude,
good for her. Holy shit.
She had that record deal that she had when she was really young, and then whenever she tried to like move stuff over, they were like, "No, we own this." So she just re-released everything as Taylor's version, and they all exploded.
She re-recorded it, right?
Yeah, re-recorded it. I mean, she did There's no.
Didn't what do you call her? Do that too? The crazy one that was like under. I can't even think who it was.
A lot of bands are doing that right now. Like one of my favorite bands, 4 Years Strong, just re-recorded their album from 2010 that I loved, and I don't know why. It sounds amazing, but like I've been seeing this a little bit more often. Is it to like that's their popular song, so might as well re-release them as new ones to get more traction on your Spotify.
I wonder if that's what Slipknot does too, because Slipknot just got out of. They must have signed a 25-year deal with Roadrunner. Like this album they just put out a couple months ago was their first album that wasn't on Roadrunner of their whole career, and they've been I think their first album came out in 99, so you think of time it like that's like 25 years with like signing and whatever, like some kind of thing, like that's or 20, it's a long fucking deal, but like they just got out of Roadrunner's deal, and so you go, it's weird. And they've put out albums every couple years for the last 20 years, so
my brain was like 99, that hasn't been very long, it doesn't seem very long, and then I was like, oh no, wait,
it's been a long
but that's
time.
the same thing that's kind of happening right now with the horror world and James Wan and all that stuff. So like the Warner Brothers isn't tying him down anymore, so he it I don't know, man, like what do you think about these contracts? It's to like help a certain entity, but do you feel like it like I don't know, like suppresses like creativity? Or
I always look at it, and I look at WWE contracts, like with the wrestlers, where the contracts are always so in favor of the people with all the money, right? They like, it's like, oh yeah, we can get rid of you whenever we want, but like that, that's what I hate about that shit. It's like you can get fucked, like wrestlers can get released, they don't get healthcare, all that shit, and it's a comparable thing because it's kind of like, you know, the big thing, the people with all the money, and then like the people performing and actually making all the money, right? So it's like, we've talked about on this podcast many times, Josh, like how things like look at the Snyder cut, right? Like of all that stuff, like, and you see how much stuff is
internet
cut out.
Bullying, though. Yeah. That was
internet
bullying at its finest.
But I mean more though the like what the people with the money do to artists and their visions of things is really what I was like.
I like to more say the what was that fucking. Oh my god! Just brain fart. The sequel to The Shining.
Dr. Sleep.
Yeah, like that. They should have just put it out. It was like an extra 40 minutes, and it made the whole movie just like so much more well-rounded and make sense and not feel jarring at the 3/4 mark. And after I saw that, I was like, wait, this just all. I feel like I did see all this stuff, but there's definite parts that just filled in these gaps that made me almost hate the movie. So that one I think has a better, like, it should be on the forefront of that. Like the Schneider cut is unique because he added fucking like another movie's length onto it. Yeah. And it was kind of crazy.
Well, that was a whole different scenario too because of his daughter's suicide, right? Like his daughter's suicide was really what fucked that up more. But
the budget he got though is insane. Yeah. Like for a movie that already came out and already did whatever, to get that much money just shows like that Warner Brothers
to be put on HBO Max. Yeah. Also, I don't know if you guys heard, we're almost close here to Avatar coming out, which I don't really give a fuck about.
Nobody does.
But listen, did you hear the statement? The movie has to make $2 billion to break even. It has to be the fourth highest grossing movie of all time to break
Is
even.
That just for but I want to I don't know the context.
I don't know.
Is that just for this one? Because how many have they recorded back to back to back? And
they've done two. They've only shot two fully, but I'm wondering how much of that is the second one, and I don't know. But like, yeah,
because I know he's got way too many eggs in this basket. But the thing that everyone should like really appreciate about James Cameron is he's never just making his next movie. He's always behind the scenes making insane like business deals, creating new technology, or finding a new way to use something that already existed. And it's always way more than just the movie he's making, and his ability to, well, in the past, I'm talking past Cameron, because he's taken too long this time. And he's putting a whole bunch of eggs in a basket that is over a decade old. The buzz is gone. The world has changed and then changed again. And COVID really killed a lot of probably hope that anyone had in like huge. Well, I don't even know. To be honest, the blockbusters are the only thing doing real big money right now, and horror movies. So
I have to say, Josh, James Cameron did a couple movies with pretty significant gaps in their timings.
I
Sequels.
understand. Yes, I know.
Terminator 2 came out in 91.
But not a sequel. Not a sequel to his own property, though.
Yeah, Terminator is his own property.
Okay. Well,
I just
whatever.
blew Josh's mind.
No, I'm talking Avatar. Because
but it's Terminator's his own property.
I
is what I'm
understand,
saying.
but that is a long, 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 long time ago.
Yeah.
And
I'm just saying I'm not excited, but not believing in Cameron is something that's like it seems like the man has made a bazillion movies worth $1 bazillion and it's done like half
and
the
he's
top
Canadian,
10.
so I'll just.
He's the whitest white man around, and very yeah.
He's one of those Canadians that's fucking hardly Canadian. Like all these like top actors that everyone's like, oh wait, he's Canadian?
He's like Ryan Reynolds Canadian.
No, but like Seth Rogen's Canadian and Jim Carrey's Canadian, but how and hardly. They're they've been American way longer.
So if you like pot as much as Seth Rogen does, you're either from California or Canada. So that makes sense. That motherfucker's like making pottery like he's from Ghost and like selling it for like pot stuff now. So it's like that man loves his marijuana. Loves it. Loves it. He's the one who got Kevin Smith hooked on pot. Oh, Seth Rogen. Okay.
Wait. Kevin Smith didn't do pot until Seth Rogen?
Nope. They shot what did they shoot? Whatever movie they shot together. Zack and Miri. And that was when Kevin Smith. And you can see not long after that he made Tusk and fucking
When is
Kevin
Tusk
Smith
2
made
coming
stoner
out?
movies before Zack and Miri.
That's what I was thinking because I was like, wait, Clerks and Clerks 2 and Mallrats and like
they were
movies.
fake.
Wait,
they're fake stoner movies. He didn't become a pothead until after those, and then he made Tusk and fucking.
Did you watch
Yoga
Clerks 3, by
hosers.
the way? It's so
not
good.
yet.
Oh,
I've
my
heard
God,
that
it
I'll
is-
cry, so I'm like waiting.
Yeah, I saw it.
I think
in like an old theater in Calgary, like days before it finally came on video on demand. But with my buddy who I've made films with, and it was just there was too many like levels of like, man, this is so nostalgic for us because we watched Clerks 1 together. And to like see the similarities in the characters and us getting older and blah blah blah, I was just like, no! Why are you making me cry, Kevin?
And you would watch it with HT and be like, because of the heart attack thing and all that stuff. So yeah. Okay, let's dive in. We're gonna talk about
The opera.
opera from Dario Argento, the master of giallo films, and I'm gonna read a synopsis, and it goes as follows. A young opera singer is stalked by a deranged fan bent on killing the people associated with her to claim her for himself. Okay. I want to say I picked this movie out last week and knew literally nothing about it besides that on Shudder it had 4 stars, user star reviews, and it was a Dario Argento movie. This movie is wild, man. It is wild, wild, wild.
I'm glad you picked it, to be honest. Like, we're going down this like water slide of giallo films, and this like ticked all the fucking boxes of giallo film to like a perfect degree and was nutty as fuck.
It was nutty. It had some crazy violence. The eye stuff, like we're talking about the eye stuff, and it's just like, Ken, you talked about the Dead Space 2 is like one of those go-to eye things. Dario's kind of known for fucking with eyeballs, and I don't know why, but I haven't seen enough of his films to really, point to it, right? But man, the eye stuff, which is like on Josh's poster, as you can see, like, or it's like this way. Yeah, I want to say it this way.
He's pointing at my penis.
I mean, it's really like, this is why I have the handlebars, because Josh's dick is right in my face, and I'm like,
I truly look forward to all the memes and clips that come from that moment.
I mean, I'm sure it will not ever come back to bite me in the ass, because I've never said anything that's ever come back to haunt me or anything like that.
I just go with it. We've been
I
doing
do
this show
too.
for 113 episodes now. If I'm not on
Oh, no, I
board
wasn't
with
shocked.
Rod's shenanigans, then like it's what he's so
I
much
think it's
more
great.
tame than he used to be. There used to be like I remember like the first maybe 20 episodes, Rod would go on these like weird, like overly sexual like tangents for like 25 minutes and just to like to make me uncomfortable or something, and it would kind of work. I'd be like, oh, like what are you even saying? And no, it's
I've been saying insane shit for a long time. It's just recording it now. There's like a lot of like episodes of recorded me saying insane shit, like on horror podcasts, on Overwatch podcasts, on Hearthstone podcasts. I had over 100 episodes of that shit. I don't even. We're close to catching up to Hearthstone podcast, by the way, here pretty soon. But so yeah, there's a lot of me just saying crazy shit. In streams, I've been saying crazy shit. I mean, Kin knows, she says crazy shit all the time.
I would
and so
never say anything about sucking my prolapsed asshole. I would never do something like that.
Kin, whenever something goes bad in a game, is like has some wonderful commentary. A couple things. I don't want to. I have this question because of Italian giallo films and like what Italian films do. I don't want to know, but I had a kind of a feeling, a shitty feeling that they actually killed those ravens in the middle of this movie, because they're known for killing animals in productions. And I didn't want to Google it because I thought I would have been really upset, because ravens and crows are really fucking smart. They're like some of the smartest birds in the thing. But it was funny because my wife sat down for the last like half an hour of this film, and the raven scene at the end, she was like, I can't watch this. And I was like, I got what she was meaning, because it was like, it was weird motion, because it was supposed to be like the raven. I was like, yeah, like I don't know. I talked about it on here. There's a game that came out right before or after, right around the time of Resident Evil 4 called Cold Fear. Ken, I don't know if you've ever played it, but it's kind of like a zombie game, but it takes place on a ship. And I started it up on a stream some Saturday morning, and I'm sitting there. I streamed it for like an hour and a half, and I was like, nope, can't do this, because it was making me queasy. It was like rocking back and forth the whole time, and I was like, nope, can't do that. Nope.
Yeah, like even the images, it looks like.
Yeah, I was like,
no,
because it gets put on lists all the time on YouTube, like for like being a cool survival horror game, and I'm like, nope, I'm not gonna do that. But I wanted to point that out, because if they did, you don't have to point it out to us. You don't have to say it or mention it to us. But I was like, I don't want to look it up, because that was it. What's it? You guys? Okay, I think I was the first one to watch this. But did you this movie? Really, you said it good. Well, Josh, you said it good. Goddamn English. This movie does tick all the boxes for the giallo films, right? It is very like you got your killer.
It's got gloves on gloves, man.
Yeah,
like he's not only wearing his fucking leather gloves, he's plastic wrapping his gloves in other gloves to be so glovey, and his mask with just the right amount of eye slit. Yeah. It was so fucking perfect, and the almost Maleficent like knife that gets used too was fucking awesome. Like there's the aesthetic of everything was just so good.
So like blood color was very, very much what like I've come to expect from this particular style, and like that kill with the mouth, like one of the earlier kills.
Yeah. So
great, because I was like, oh shit, like cool.
I was sitting there, I was like, that was like a pretty brutal kill, because you see the fucking knife go in the mouth. Like it's like
there was few that I was like, oh shit. Like, okay. Okay. Wow.
Which is weird, because you look at let's compare it to like the Friday the 13th films, right? Like you're going right into that time frame where the fucking MPAA just started fucking cutting those films like apart, right? Because you get to 6 and it got cut up, but 7 is Friday the 13th part 7, which probably would have been what 86 87 or 88. Like this is 86, right? But or 87. So you go, they got away with a lot, and it's like, I don't know, because it's Giallo and like the Italian distribution, they probably didn't care as much because they were putting it out everywhere. They had, of course, because it's Giallo, they have the dubbing, the obvious dubbing that you like. It's just wonderful.
Because it's set in the opera, though, these sets were fucking amazing. Like, I felt like this movie's like, just how massive it felt in some spots with the amount of extras or people they had in the scenes. I was like, this feels like grand and like expensive and like important and like it. I don't know, like it was impressive. I was really impressed by this film.
The sets were dope. That fucking air conditioning scene, which I my favorite scene in this whole movie was the apartment scene, because of once like the guy got into the apartment, it was fucking super intense. It was super well shot. It was super like the music, everything was like, but like those fucking air conditioner like ducts that like reminded me of like the little girl reminded me of Newt from like Aliens, right? Like it's kind of like had that Newt like she came in and saved her, but like. Yeah, you're right. The sets are fucking awesome. Like that opera house that they shot in, like, and that's one other thing I've noticed about Giallo. They do this like, they have this like generic location kind of feel to them, right? Like it's like it felt like Rome, but it also felt like New York City. Like it felt like a lot, right? And it felt like that was that was a cool aspect of this whole film. Like it's like you feel like this could be anywhere, kind of thing, right?
It could be in Rod's basement.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Oh wait. Oh shit.
So also like one of the random things for the movie that like freaked me out. So okay, I have random fears that are kind of, I guess they're normal. Some of them are very like whatever. I have like a horrible fear of windows. I do not like the blinds open at any point in time during the day, at night, whatever. Like right now, this one's open only because the window is open and it's freaking me the fuck out, but that's fine. I have always had an issue with peepholes, specifically for the reason in this movie, not because somebody can look through, but anytime anybody looks through any hole, all I can imagine is boom. And I'm like, oh,
what the? There's no
yeah.
See, it's fixed. There's no the. Perfect.
What the?
That, by the way, was one of the most brutal shootings I've ever seen in a movie. Like, it was...
I don't know. Did you see Terrifier 2?
Yeah, but no, what I'm talking about, though, like, usually when you shoot somebody in a movie, it leaves a little hole, like just like a round hole. And you see that blow through that lady's friend. Oh, we got a fucking Amber Alert coming through. That was, and I was like, this fucking cool. It's like, when like, in any like war movie where they have a sniper and they shoot them through the sniper scope. That's what it reminded me of. But this seemed like way more like feasible, right? And
well, going from last week, like pieces. They just didn't spend any time, effort, or budget on any of the fucking death scenes. Nope. And this movie did the opposite. It seemed like they really took a lot of time and care and attention to all the gags and all the gore. And it was like ramped up, but like still like as like gnarly as some of these death scenes were, it still felt like it was tasteful at the same time. Like it fit in with the way the story was going and how violent the guy ends up being and how fucking just crazy and relentless. Kind of reminds me of my ex.
The scene too where he's screwed up the whole costume, but the costume lady comes in and she's like trying to piece stuff, and like it may have been when he cut it, but all the little tiny pieces that just like gently floated off. I was like, that's so pretty in its own twisted way. Like
that costume that she uses in that opening scene is fucking dope. Where like it's the opera's Macbeth. It's and like the director is a they talk about it. He's a horror director that for some reason came in to direct this opera, and he's like doing like it seems like a kind of like a kind of like what they did with like Romeo and Juliet with the Leo one, right? Where they like modernize it because they like it seems like there's like when she's singing, there's like a blown out like a shot down helicopter, like it's in Vietnam or something like that, and
but it also switches to all the like amazing 80s metal, like
oh yeah,
after it's opera to like awesome 80s metal that it felt almost out of place, but then because it was weaved in throughout the movie intentionally, I loved it anyways, but it just worked. I loved it.
Well, he did the he didn't, let me see, did he actually direct it? I think he did Suspiria, right? So with Goblin, right? And the score in Goblin. And so this is our second Dario movie. And I was like, the music, he also fucks with you with the music because the first like 2 or 3 kills, they play the metal, like they switch from the opera to the metal, which is a cool switch up. And I thought that meant that point where after she gets out of the little girl's apartment, that the killer was killing them or something like that, because they start playing the metal while she's like running, you know? And I'm like, does that mean because he'd been using it to do the kills, right? Also, did they ever, I feel like no one ever mentioned the fucking security guard that he fucking coat hangered at the beginning, which was metal as shit, dude. He rams that dude's head on the coat hanger. Like
I missed that. What the fuck?
So when the spotlight fell at like during the first performance, he like rammed the guy's head against the coat hanger.
I did miss that.
Well, yeah. They allude to the fact that there's a detective there. Well, maybe it was because of the lights, but yeah, they never really.
Well, the detective was there because he was the killer.
Yeah,
he was the killer. That's why.
Well, we know that, but
yeah,
not until the end.
Yeah.
Wait, spoiler.
The movie came out 35 years ago. I think we're okay.
Yeah, I was trying to misdirect with the on the poster. I guess now that the is gone, spoiler territory.
The whole thing is like, I don't know, like we do spoiler when things are brand new and like kind of trying to avoid this stuff.
Speaking of brand new, and you were talking about it in our group chat. Violent Night comes out this weekend, and that's action, comedy, horror, thriller, or whatever. With
I don't know if it's. I don't think it's any horror at all. They call it Die Hard with. Does it?
Yeah.
I think it's got some pretty heavy gore in it.
Yeah, because I want to do there. I said in our group chat too. I want to do Rare Exports this year because that movie is fucking dope. If you've never heard of it, and it's a weird fucking movie, but like it's interesting, and I think you guys will dig it. So we'll talk about that because like we're past American Thanksgiving, so we're all in like the Christmas season, right? But yeah, we'll talk about what we want to do next week. But it
was a perfect segue. You said new.
I don't know about segues. The fucking
hey,
ADHD.
I do this thing.
You do the segues. You do, yeah. Josh. You do.
It's called ADHD, and if you can come up with something that allows you to open that drawer.
I briefly thought we were talking about actual segues, and I was going to tell you guys about my hoverboard, but
didn't the guy who invented segways fall off a cliff on one or something like that and die?
I heard that. I don't know if it's true, but I heard that.
I don't know. If it's
I liked my
legend.
tweet earlier. We're the ADHD crew. Like
I was thinking that too. Yeah, it's very true. So the guy getting his head crushed on the coat hanger reminded me of that Bad Intentions movie. What was that called with like Christian Slater or were they and the guy from Marv from Home Alone where they go to Vegas for like a bachelor party and they accidentally kill the hooker. Have you seen this, Ken?
I don't think so.
it's like a dark comedy where they're trying. One guy is like cheating on his wife by banging this hooker, and he slams her head up against it and kills her, right? And so then the rest of the movie is like dark comedy with them trying to deal with it, and like, yeah, it's like they're in like a all night Walmart at the middle of the night to get like shovels and things to bury this hooker.
Oh,
Yeah.
speaking of new, and we didn't bring it up, but dude, I've ADD out.
I was totally thinking you were gonna be like, speaking of hookers.
Yeah.
Did anyone watch Wednesday?
Yes.
Yes. We have to. It's in the genre. It was fan-fucking-tastic. The whole world watched it, and I fucking loved it. I just gotta say, it was so fun, and like, it's so Netflix, but in all the right ways. And I think they're finally like, especially Tim Burton coming back and just crushing it. It was very Tim Burton.
Did he direct
Netflix. He directed
Did he
this
direct
episode.
those? Did he?
Yeah, and it was weird because some people were like, we didn't like it. I'm like, what was not to like? And people were like, well, it was predictable. And I was like, yeah, but not super, but also, yeah, but it was still fun. And
She
Yeah.
killed
I
it.
loved it.
Like-
Well, it killed me because I was like, oh my God, that's the girl from X. Like, this is wild. Like,
Yeah. She was in
crazy shit.
She was in Scream too. I mean, she was
Yeah.
like the main character. She's like her and her sister are the new like Sydney's. Like, so, yeah. Dude,
I
also
loved
now you
it.
reminded me, we've gone down that rabbit hole. Did you see the screenshot of fucking Screen 6 or the
Yeah.
picture that they put out where with Ghostface like robbing a liquor store with a shotgun? It looked like.
Hey, whatever.
I think they're fucking with people, but I think that's the end game with that.
They're like, we have nothing else to add, so have this.
I mean, it comes out in March or April, right? So we're not that far off from that one. So, and I mean, after what they did the last one, it's just easy. I was thinking about this morning or today. Like, we should do one of these episodes in December. Maybe like the last one that comes out of the year. We should just review the fucking horror movies that came out. Like, just talk about them because
Top 10.
it was a bonker. Yeah, we do top 10, maybe top 5 with how ADHD we are. It might be safer. But
Yeah, because I used to
go-
do at the end of the year a top 10 of the year. There's definitely enough that came out this year, but it would get kind of hard. We'll
Yeah.
have like top 5 with an honorable mention or something.
yeah, and we'll talk
and
about
worst.
all of them anyways. Yeah.
Definitely got to say worst too, because that's important. You got to dunk sometimes.
Threw it on the ground. Okay, back to opera with no the before it.
See, there isn't a the.
I know exactly.
The tweet has already been deleted. No, I'm just kidding.
I have to,
I have to
say,
delete so many tweets because of
I
that
know.
bullshit. Oh my god.
I think that we may have to like take December off doing other stuff because of Christmas time, but I do want to keep doing more Giallo movies after, because there's a whole lot in this genre that I'm like interested in, and how Shudder specifically caters to these films. I am very excited for. So
Yeah.
and there's a lot. So it's such a deep thing, and it does a lot. Like, right, it's a foreign film, but like the weird how they're co-produced and everything like that. But yeah, so hitting out some classics.
Hell yeah.
What? So did I called in my own head the ending of this film with not the ending, but the when he captures her and then sets the room on fire and has her shoot him with the blindfold and everything like that. I assumed you guys probably figured out he wasn't dead either at that point. But that whole ending of this movie was fucking metal, and I do have to say I laughed my ass off when she hit him with the rock.
When she hit him with the rock and she just
Yeah.
like,
She's like, "Eh." And it was there. Most of the dubbing in this movie wasn't all that bad, but what made me laugh was like when they were getting her and the wardrobe lady, or they're getting all up in their faces, and you could like, so you're just the mouth takes up half the fucking screen, right? And you're like, okay, guys,
How are you not dubbing it well? At
yeah,
this point?
I'm just like, you're doing a little bit, and it was like when she was making like grunting noises. I'm like, it's just a weird thing to be dubbing, anyways. But like, I'm
They
just
like their Foley.
They do, man. They do like, and I said this before, but I this woman, we were at, you Ken, you said you were yelling at her too. Like, kind of seems like she wants to be murdered for half the film. Like, she's like the main like lady from the King Kong movies. She just like goes, and then like just kind of and the scene in the apartment, which I said was my favorite scene in this movie, but she puts eye drops in, goes to the front door, someone's trying to kill her, and she opens the door, can't see anyways because she's put eye drops in, turns around and just leaves her front door open. Why?
No, the best scene is where the girl gets shot through the eye.
And that's part of that scene, though.
What?
I mean, that's part of the apartment scene.
Okay, good.
And the whole like,
and the bullet does some trickery magic and gets the phone too. I don't know what trajectory that fucking bullet had, but it did both.
That's some wanted bullshit.
I loved it.
Dude, I remember when Mythbusters tried to do the wanted bullet.
Yeah.
And they're like
Curve the bullet.
Which by the way, that movie is still fucking awesome, but like it's the most ridiculous.
I went
concept.
bowling the other weekend with my parents, and I was like, like, I don't care if I get gutters, I'm bending this ball, and then I finally got it, and I was just wanted on the bowling alley.
Dude, I had
good.
a couple years ago, I streamed Deadly Premonition 1 and 2, which are wonderful, terrible games. Ken, if you've never played them, one, don't try to play them on Steam because they're not like the first one's there and it's not playable. But two, the second one has a bowling mini game that I spent hours trying to get. Like, it would set up random pins and you have to get like a spare. And I ended up finally doing the last one on it by like, you know how you do magic eye puzzles where you unfocus your eyeballs? I basically did that. I'm just like, because I'd done it so many times, I'm just like, boom, boom, and then got it. And I'm like, yes! Yes. Oh, God. Josh, your ADHD has it's been very intense tonight. And and the moose is riding over me. I saw some moose on, I think my wife sent it to me on Instagram, and it was like this guy was getting out of his car and there was a moose just standing there and he didn't see it. And I'm like, are you trying to get murdered?
I mean, I've gotten out of my car a few times. There's just been a bear there, and I'm like, oh, oops.
Is it a
Just
cocaine
get back
bear?
in the car. No, it's a big ass bear.
Other than the poster for Cocaine Bear, have you seen or heard anything else? Because the poster was fucking dope, and it's it's like Snakes on a Plane or something random. So
but it's a real story. But
yeah,
they're gonna make it like, yeah.
I hope it's cool, because
I hope so too.
The poster's dope, and Elizabeth Banks is always dope. So
that bear ate $15 million worth of cocaine and like $15 million worth of cocaine. Like,
was
he
he
didn't
really
last
fast
very long.
after that?
His heart
Gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast. That's why Sonic is so fast. Lots of cocaine. Yeah, but Josh, that I was talking about the eyeball being shot through the door frame thing is a dope shot, and it was one of the cooler like shots in this whole film.
Well, and the way they showed through the eye
bullet.
hole. Yeah, and the bullet coming through, just like the artistic choices to show it visually. I was like, that's why I was so excited about that scene, because I was like, that's the best like view hole finder shot, like recreation I've ever seen in a movie. Like, I'm floored by this. And then it was comedic to me because it was gnarly. Her getting like, he's like, but I got, hey, come on, hey, it's me, fuck you, boom, like, oh shit.
Well, my favorite part is like, she's like, show me your ID, and he's like showing her, but like he's like shining the like his flashlight on it so she can't see it at the same time. But like after he does that is like the most intense part of this whole film because he's chasing her around this apartment and she does my wife and I are sitting there and I'm like, what the fuck is she doing? It's like she throws her pillow out and I'm like, is this bitch gonna jump out of her fucking like 3rd or 4th story window? No. She's like making you think that she did, and she sets it up. But then she's like hiding behind a curtain, going,
"Hi!"
like sticking her head out, going, "Hey, Mr. Killer, are you still out there?"
Horror movies have fucked me up so bad when it comes to that because every time like I would play hide and seek as a kid, I was the smart one who would just stay put.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, well, maybe I'm supposed to peek because everybody, don't fucking peek. Stay hidden forever. If your friends find you, they do. If not, then you're the friend that, got left behind in hide and seek. Just don't peek. No peeking.
That reminds me of
Just fall
the
asleep.
show, The Raising Hope. Where
I
they
did
have
that.
Well, I've done that too.
There's an episode where they have their like Alzheimer's old or dementia grandmother and like they're playing hide and seek with her and then they like get distracted and like the whole episode she's like going Marco like trying to like but nobody ever finds her. It's Cloris Leachman. It was wonderful. But yeah, that scene that's what it like as soon as he shoots her in like that chase scene is I think like the music and how it was shot and that best scene in the whole movie. And there's a lot
Yes.
of really fucking cool scenes in this movie like the
You're
gory
a
deaths,
cool
but, like,
scene.
I am. That's also true. The Raven scene was fucking fantastic. Like because you don't know what's happening. The director goes, "Oh, I've changed something up," because they set it up earlier that these fucking ravens are smart and they're fucking they're vindictive. They're like they will come vindictive. They'll come
He's
after
just
you.
got dick on the mind.
Dick.
Dick
Two
full.
at once. And that some reason he I think he was like that was when he was sewing the little gold charm into the costume, right? And
Yes.
he fucking goes after the ravens.
Sorry.
Kills 3 ravens out of nowhere. And then the director at the last performance just yeets the entire fucking crate of ravens out, and the one's like, okay, I'm gonna find this motherfucker, and they do, and the fucking raven starts like
So gnarly. That was definitely the most metal part of the movie, I think. Not the ending.
which is
the fucking ravens just pecking the shit out of him.
and then the fucking one is like the two are fighting over the eyeball. They're like
So
and they're
much
like,
eye trickery
Yeah.
in this movie.
that scene didn't bother me, but the fucking pins like it's it just
I wonder if that bothered me so much and maybe you as well. But like I feel like there's not as much eye mutilation as horror could like grab
Yeah.
onto. And so maybe that's why it's so unnerving whenever we see it.
it's the thing that like so many kills in horror, right, are just like, oh, this is never gonna happen, right? Like I go back to the best kill in all the Fear Street movies, like the bread slicer thing, right? It's like gnarly, but you're not like because like you're like, when am I gonna get my head shoved through a bread slice? Like it's something that you never
They
even
did that
like, think about.
in I think every one of those Fear Streets had one kill where you didn't expect it to be that violent and or not cut away type thing, and that's what I liked about the Fear Street ones. It was good storytelling, but there was also like they ramped up at least 1 or 2 kills to like a degree that I did not expect them to do, and made it like tick a different box on like my horror lovers list of like, oh fuck, that's like one of the better like scenes I've seen in a horror movie to be horrific in a while, and it was in an R.L. Stine flick, which is awesome. Oh wait,
I brought the little white ham up.
okay,
because
here's
it was sitting on
the
floor.
most important part of the episode. The only cut
the
that
gizmo
ever
gizmo
gets
shows up.
is the gizmo cut now.
Yep.
He
But yeah,
reminds me that I can. Okay, see, the only cuts. Gizmo comes, and all of a sudden there's cuts happening. What? Hey, look.
He inspires the cuts. He's gonna have a good old time. We're watching Katie and Zeke's poodles this weekend, so he's gonna have 2 large dogs running around the house before our baby poodle comes in a couple months or a couple weeks. So, yeah. So Gizmo's gonna.
So do you already know what? Have you picked a dog and it's coming, or?
Yeah, we picked her, and I put pictures in the chat last week, but.
Oh, yeah. That was the one. Oh, sweet.
Yeah, one of them was. Yep. I'll send more pictures. His little snaggle tooth hanging out. But yep, poodle on the 16th of December. So it's like 2 weeks from Friday.
Oh.
But yeah, so I think that like you talk about the most metal, and we already talked about a bunch of this stuff in this film, like being like there's not that many kills, but like when they do, it's just like they don't mess around, man. Like the fucking hat on the coat hanger. We got the fucking knife through the throat, which I think the best part, like it's this weird, like there's like this weird like sadomasochist thing going on with this movie, because like you find out at the very I'm hitting the wrong button. You find out at the end that like these weird the one thing about this film that that I was like I like the decision that I wasn't really a big fan of, when he would show her brain like vibrating randomly throughout, like that occurred a couple times. But you see these visions she has, and she talks about her dreams, and you find out at the end of the movie she found her mother got killed when she was little, and that the killer, the stalking her, was like her mother's fuck buddy, who like her mother wasn't fucking him, and so he killed her too. And then like he became obsessed with her, and then like took out the main actress in this opera, and it's this whole weird like thing. And you're like,
the opera was really good too, though. Like what they were doing was like impressive. Like I don't know anyone who's overly a fan of that type of music or anything, but like it's impressive, and they were killing it. It was like a real production. It wasn't just we rented the opera house to film a B horror movie. It was like, no, we have a full-on production. This is an actual thing, and it was crazy. But
yeah, I mean the sets, like you said, are just wonderful. And then they go into like the fucking Swiss, like my wife's like, this is like Sound of Music. Like
that's what I thought as soon as I saw it. I was like, what is this?
And because
what was
they
he doing with the fly though? Like what the fuck was that?
He was filming a fly, like the back
on
of
a
this
string.
Is the mid '80s, but like before.
But why?
Because I assume, but because they don't clarify it, he went back to doing horror movies, right? He was a horror movie director. And so he was doing something, and he cast her as his lead in his next horror movie, and they were doing it in the Switzerland in the Alps or something. I do love, it makes me laugh my ass off how easily she convinces him. She's like, oh, I really did figure, I wanted you to win all along. And
yeah, I know.
Like, okay. And then she hits him in the back of the head. Or she's like, it's the most, like, if she had thrown that rock, it would have gone 6 inches. Like, that's what kind of, like, it was like, I laughed out loud for that. I don't know, man. I also that whole part when after she hits him with the rock and the fucking the Swiss Alp, where was their Saint Bernard with like a barrel like of like liquor around its neck, but then they're like shoving the guns on the guy's head.
There were
like,
so many people and a helicopter. It was nuts.
Yeah, and then he's like, how did you know we were here? Did you know we were here? And she's like, yes, I saw the dogs. What about the rest of it?
And I also
Get down. Like,
my favorite part about that is this is like weeks or months after this whole like the ending scene where like he gets shot and burned alive, and they're like, we just figured out it wasn't a real person, it was a mannequin. What? Like, you would poke it like 3 seconds after, and it's not it burns. Like, this fire was not hot enough to melt a person into liquid plastic. What the fuck are you like
it's for the movie magic.
I know, but like,
Rod.
I've
He's
been
filming
watching,
a fly.
I've been watching a lot of NCIS with my wife. Like, I go, they couldn't figure out a mannequin was not a human being. Like,
They don't have forensics teams yet.
You poke it with a stick and you can figure out it's
actually,
not a
they probably
human.
did, but they didn't have like the computers that. And you know what I heard? Like CSI and like CSI Miami and stuff. That show is way more funding than the actual CSI in Miami, and they have all better tech than the real fucking CSIs do.
So, and this reminded me, there's a story on last week tonight, the John Oliver show on HBO, where they did like a thing about like the Law and Order shows. And the fucked up thing about all this was they were talking about how Law and Order SVU teaches those special victims units more about the crimes than their actual fucking jobs do. Like they learn more watching SVU than they do like
On
training
job.
wise.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm like,
that explains America.
fuck yeah. Lick my butt and suck my balls.
You could just do that at the same time. Come on.
I mean, how do you lick your butt and suck your balls at the same time, Josh? Like, you would have to have like.
It all depends on the way you're positioned, Rod.
You have to like drop your balls in your mouth and then flip and like.
She gets it. She
I
fucking
think I
gets
saw,
it.
I think
I
I
don't
saw.
think it's good that I do get it.
I think I saw a porno one time where a lady had the dude's balls in her mouth and was licking his taint, but like at the same time, like it was like a very impressive feat. It was like watching a cobra feed, or not a cobra, like a anaconda feed.
Ken and I both trying to picture it. Like, wait.
No, I can picture it. That's why I'm very confused why that's a like. Never mind. Okay.
I've seen
Sorry,
a lot
Mom.
of weird. A lot of weird pornos
Wait,
in my
Mom
day.
listens to
I
this?
said sometimes.
Oh, fuck.
Mama Kin, we love you.
It's okay. She sits in stream too, so it's all good. And so does my dad.
Yes, I have a podcast. Don't listen to it. And she said, okay, I won't.
She's like, why,
It's
Josh?
it's like my bands back in the day. Like I was in a pop punk band, and she's like, "Oh," and she would like come to my shows. And then I was in a hardcore band. And she's like, "Nope." None of those shows. Same with
It's
this.
like you're in Blink 182, and then she's like, "Can I come to this other band you're in?" And you're like, "It's Slayer, so no, don't."
No, I said yeah, sure. And then she heard our album and was like, "Oh no."
Oh no. Oh,
My mom and dad will come into the stream, and like my mom does good for like a few streams, and then she's like, I have to go. And I'm like, okay, now I feel better about some of these swears that are coming out of my mouth. Bye.
My favorite, like,
bye, Mom.
my parents wouldn't come into my stream if they knew. I mean, they know I stream, but they don't. Nope. I mean, I have a whole thing. I have a command in my stream where I go off, where a clip gets played where I talk about eating ass for like 90 seconds. So it's like, we are
It's
here.
his Sunday treat.
I mean, it's the afternoon delight, Josh.
Afternoon delight.
I listened to that song the other day
That song will always be the song
on
that
purpose.
Steve loses his virginity in 40-Year-Old Virgin, like at the very end.
Wait, no, they sing the Aquarius at the end of 40-Year-Old Virgin. Yeah, Afternoon Delight is an Anchorman.
Oh, it's Anchorman.
It's like the same thing. Just kidding.
I mean, that's all from that same time frame of what made Will Ferrell like super, relevant and super.
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
My wife will never there's certain you're cruel to an animal in a movie, and my wife wants no part of it. And the dog being kicked off the bridge in Anchorman, and then John Wick.
It was a teddy.
I know. And then John Wick, obviously, she hates John Wick because, yeah, dude, it was so funny. It just reminds me, my wife was like, oh, she saw that the John Wick 4 trailer was coming out, and she's like, I don't want to watch it because then I'll just want to watch the movies. And then we went and saw Wakanda that very same day, and John Wick 4 was on the trailers before.
What'd you think of
That
Wakanda?
I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was, I don't know why, but Ryan Coogler is the only, by far the best director they have at Marvel doing villains.
I feel like he really, it was an important film, right? They got the tone and obviously the rewrites and everything, and the class was there. They laid on the class, and some of the those monologue scenes where people really had to give it and act. Holy fuck, did they knock it out of the park? There was some just really intense acted scenes where I was just like, whoa, I felt that. That was intense. So kudos.
Namor was hot. Namor was hot, man. I don't know, that nose ring or whatever, the nose, the bone through the
septum?
nose. But he was fucking, he was fucking, that dude.
He wanted to bone his septum bone.
And then we went out, we talked about it in our group chat where they erased his boner. And it was not very fair of him. Give Namor his boner back. Come on, man.
It wasn't even a boner. Bulge. It was just a bulge.
I know. He was packing and proud.
That's what they do to mine all the time.
Why do we not allow men's bulges in movies?
Because we're America, man. It is.
But I mean, it's so too,
It's just release the nipple, release the bulge.
Well, it's that whole thing, right? Where you can have a penis in a movie in America, but if it's erect, it's X-rated. An erect penis makes a movie X-rated. It's why we had that's an excellent penis you have. It was 2 floppy penises, right? They don't. That's why when we did that Der Samurai movie, we're like, that dude's got a full-on hard-on. And it was because the movie was German. And what's funny even about that is that Germany, obviously, Josh, Germany, and they're like Australia. They're they don't like violence in movies. They're like, yeah, our country gets kind of riled up about violence, and then they just try to take over the world. So we're gonna take that down a notch, and they're gonna cut out the violence. But fully erect, which is way better, because guess what? Sex is natural. Violence is not natural. I mean, it shouldn't be, right? So
Rod and his fully erect penises.
I mean, there are plenty of penis shots of mine out on the internet. So you go out there and you find them. They're there. They are there.
Go check out Rod's OnlyFans.
I even put a Santa hat on my dick.
When are you gonna clown dick? Come on.
How do I do clown dick, Josh?
Figure it
tie
out.
A string.
It has to be a thing. You know how many more people will sign up if clown dick is a real thing?
No, they won't.
I just had the best idea. Okay, so you dye your pubes red, red orange, like clown hair. Okay, grow them out for a couple weeks. Okay, I know nobody has them, but just listen, do that, and then put one of those. The nose balls.
Yeah.
You can always get. So you put that on the very tip of your dick. Paint your dick absolutely white. And then draw sad eyes and a sad face, even though it'll be above the nose, but that's fine because it's a clown dick.
Yeah, there you go.
Boom. Or instead of having to dye your pubes, just buy some shitty a wig and just cut some of it off and Elmer's glue that shit.
Yeah, Elmer's glue it.
You're good.
I've learned from Zeke and Scott that honey does not make a good way to glue facial hair on someone else's face. So you keep that in mind also. But when Zeke did the charity stream, he made enough money and he shaved his beard off and glued to Scott, his community manager's face with honey. It did not stick very well with honey. But.
Use eyelash glue. I have covered my entire face in gemstones with eyelash
That
glue.
shit is so it's gluey.
That shit stays. Like, I got done with the stream and I was like, I can't do it.
Dude, I've seen Katie's streams after she puts makeup on herself and is spending like hours pulling latex off of herself. So yeah, that you could do some crazy. I'm going to be Krampus. I gotta do a Krampus shoot here, like at Christmas time. I don't know what Krampus. How do you differentiate from Santa from Krampus though? I'm not.
Horns
And a big beard thing, and like
it's more
the
triangle
goat legs.
Mm-hmm.
We have to do that movie. I would like to do that movie this year too.
Oh, it's so good.
What's it called? What the fuck is the name of the movie?
Krampus.
Yeah, okay. Because I have the unrated version, which I still have not watched. God damn it! My brain does not work.
Trick
okay.
or treat.
It's
Apparently,
already like
they
past.
are making a second one. Apparently,
Yeah,
it's been
but
saying that for fucking 10 years, but
yeah, and they haven't said anything about it. Okay, we're already done. This movie is fucking awesome though.
oh yeah,
Go watch it.
We talked about the opera, then opera, and then ADHD.
Dude, I mean it's been that, but like
It's
it's
been
already
on another
like
level tonight. I'm sorry.
yeah, I know. It's all Josh and his Josh knew and he prepared for it by tweeting out and calling us the ADHD gang. Okay, I don't think we know. I'm tired. We're gonna figure out what we're gonna watch next week. Maybe we'll do what's it called?
Violent Night.
Violent Night, or there's other stuff. I want to see Rare Exports.
Is it just in theaters? If it's just in oh yeah, it is only in theaters.
Yeah, it's only in theaters. I don't know.
Maybe,
We'll
maybe
figure it
not.
out. Ken has a harder time getting to the movies,
Yep.
and I'm also.
Listen, it gives me an excuse to go. So if push comes to shove,
Yeah.
Then she
Also,
can get away
I'm
from the pounding walls and stuff.
All of our
I'm
houses
sorry,
are.
I don't know why it's picking everything up tonight.
Josh will clean it up. We'll be good. But yeah, we'll figure out what we're doing next week and we'll tweet it out because everyone and it's late for Ken. We started late because of moving from yesterday. So, okay, it was ADHD as fuck. This was it was ADHD.
I love it. Honestly,
I love it too.
There's no rules here on Murder Moose.
No.
And it gives the opportunity to just like if we want to talk about something or interject with something else or oh wait, I just remembered Wednesday exists. Whatever.
Yeah.
I want to know what you guys think about these things, and it'd be like if we just went out for some wings together on a Monday or Tuesday.
Ooh.
Right?
That's the point of this whole show, right? It's like friends talking about stuff like that. And so, yeah, I don't care. I'm just pointing out because it's very obvious. It was a ADHD shitstorm. So, yeah, we'll tweet out what we're going to do. Ken, everywhere you are. We have stdhotel.com, stdmotel.com, continue.com. You have all the ones you gained. I'll remember the STDs, but that's
Quaintaint.com. onlynouns.com, but you can find me if you're looking and you want to find everything. Continue.com is your go-to source at this point, but I am on Twitch as Continue, Twitter Continue, Fan House Continue, TikTok Continue. The only one that's different is Instagram.
Instagram,
So yeah.
And we're
KINTINUE.
Yes. I told Continue this before. Like when I first started hanging out her stream, it took me a couple of times hanging out before I realized I tried to make her name way more complicated than it is. You see her
Everybody
name.
does. It's okay.
Yeah. And so, but it's Continue. We have murdermoose.com where all of our episodes go up and I tweet about when they're live and stuff on Thursday mornings. Our YouTube, you search for we need 100 followers, guys. We're like 46 away. We need 46 follows. 46. That's all. So 46.
I keep saying I'm going to do more, and then I just don't. But I'll also.
Like you got a bunch of gizmo things, and then like people subscribed and then bailed. It was very weird. So like yeah, it happens. Yes, Josh is Josh WRB WRB.com and Josh WRB on Twitter. I'm Rod_Johnston on Twitter and Twitch. And yeah, I don't have a website. I don't need a website. Oh, fuck. I just hurt myself. God, I'm getting old. I just hurt my back.
No.
God.
I'm on Hive too. Just throwing that out there. Anyway,
yeah.
I'm on Hive. I'm on Hive also without
don't
an
do
underscore. Hive, I really like you. Make your app load in less than 78 minutes, please, for the love of sweet baby
It's
Jesus.
because of
And
the
also-
influx right now. They have like 2 dev people, and like they're like renting servers, and
I mean,
the influx
we're
of
gonna-
people that they could not handle. So
yeah,
I'm sure
I mean,
we'll get
well, we have Elon Musk trying to get pulled from the Twitter store, or from the Apple store. So Twitter's going to be dead here very, very shortly because that man is a maniac. So, okay, everybody, thank you for this ADHD shitstorm. We are the ADHD brigade. Fuck, man. And we'll catch you guys next week with a movie. So, love you guys. Love you, Josh. Love you, Ken. You guys are awesome. And we'll catch you guys next week. Bye. Bye.
ding dong. Ding dong.